Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to my recap of Season 2, Episode 6 of Insecure. Your girl Issa, her car is still messed up. It ain't gonna be fixed no time soon. She went to the mechanic. They're talking about $5,500. That is an expensive way to learn a lesson about looking at dick while you drive. No texting, no dick pics. Oddly enough, Issa's big issue this episode is not her car, but her man's situation. Her dudes ain't reliable, and they're not boyfriends, so they don't need to be. Daniel, she can't get in contact with. She takes the bus home from, I guess, work. She sends him a text. And the worst part is she can see that he is responding because the dots come up, but then he just decides not to send the text. He told her that he got her. Issa said that's not what she was looking for. They were just kicking it. So he's falling back on her. She's getting the straight friends with benefits treatment. No extra. She didn't want to be a priority, so she's not one. Issa's bored. She decides to go holler at Big Head. Like, I know he lives in the complex and all. You can see that his light is on, but you got to call before you come. Big boys rules apply in the South, in the West, in the East. Issa hypes herself up. She goes and pops up at Big Head's house, and he got a chick by. Issa gets upset. What you mad for? That's not your man. He wasn't even your first choice, so I don't know why you thought you would be his. Issa gets the bright idea to call Nico. Now, Nico is a nice guy. Nico's a grown man, and he seems to be looking for something purposeful, something with meaning, and that ain't what Issa's looking for. So she invites Nico by the house, and she's like, oh, I have to change into my other skirt. Do you like this skirt? That outfit was atrocious, man. It was short. It wasn't much to it, and I guess that's all it takes to entice a man. But these dudes these days, they pay a little more attention. They know what a little decent outfit looks like. Now, they might be trying to get you out of it immediately, and I'll say it was a poor choice because it also wasn't effective. You sitting up here with your bra showing, a little slather in a cloth that barely covers your cho-cha, and you still couldn't get laid. She tried to seduce Nico. She unbuttoned her shirt. Nico buttoned it back up for her. He was like, ma'am, I would just like to take you to dinner. And you trying to throw the at somebody, and he threw it back. That would have humbled my spirit. She was like, no, I don't want to go. I think you might have let a good man walk out your house. He was cute. He didn't have a lot of personality, but I thought there was potential. But you've pretty much ruined that, Issa. Speaking of folks who don't know what they want, my girl Molly, she's at work late when she gets a call from Dro. As far as Dro's concerned, they had a great time. Sex was good. She and Dro were supposed to meet up the next day to watch the game. Molly is in this weird space. She's really unsure of how to define her friendship with Dro now. The next day, Molly and Dro go meet up at the bar. Dro, I get it. He's not my type per se, but he's tall. He's definitely attractive. He's cute. He's charming as all get out. He and Molly do have chemistry. It's just he's married. Molly told Issa earlier in the episode, they're sitting at the mechanic shop. She was like, you know what? It's a one and done. I'm not going to have sex with him anymore. I'm going to put our friendship above everything. They hang out at the bar. They have a good time. Molly's looking at him with a big smile and puppy eyes. And next thing you know, they're having sex. Again, Dro's stroke game, very respectable. Not mad at it. But Molly, girl, what are you doing? After they have sex, they're laying in bed all cuddled up like an actual couple, but not. They finally have a conversation about what this open relationship is, what it looks like, what it means. Molly says at first that it was really messy, and then Dro says it was actually his wife's idea. And then Molly's like, oh, that's kind of boss. Is it? The issues that I have with Molly and Dro specifically, Molly and Dro are really good friends. Kelly is also really good friends with both of them. She does Dro and his wife's taxes. No one knew in their friend circle that they were in an open relationship. So I kind of wonder how Candace would feel about her husband having sex with someone who's in their circle. Is Candace aware that Dro is now sleeping with Molly? And I kind of feel like because Molly knows his wife, just to make sure everything's on the up and up. Because men will tell you anything. Like, I'm single. Sir, you're married with 3 children. Your wife is currently pregnant. Some things I just kind of feel like if you can verify, you should. And then I think the worst thing about all of it for me is Molly settling. What you want ultimately is one man, one woman relationship. You want the fairy tale that you thought your parents had. Just because you found out that your parents' relationship isn't perfect doesn't mean you should just throw out all ideals about relationships. Like, maybe you should stop thinking everything's going to be perfect. The truth of the matter is Molly doesn't like being the other woman. And you see how that plays out at the very end of the episode. She and Dro, they're at a hotel. They're being very romantic. And then he gets a text from his wife and he immediately drops everything and leaves, as he should. But Molly's not okay with coming second. You have this very romantic situation. Y'all are at this dope hotel. There's probably a view of the city, but you'll be staying there and eating dinner there and waking up there in the morning alone. It was all romantic until it wasn't, and reality hit. So I think next week, Molly's probably going to be off drugs. I don't see her sticking around being second fiddle to anybody. I hope. Norris's storyline was real dry this week, but we did figure out what happened to that app he was working on for 2 years. He pitched it at his job only to find out nobody was interested. He ran the idea past a coworker and was like, hey, the bosses seemed really into it. And she's like, did they ask questions? Did they ask about next steps? You sat on a couch for 2 whole years developing something that ain't nobody remotely interested in and called dating. Sir, I think him and a little coworker have chemistry though. She said something in the episode like, things fall apart so you could build something else. And I was like, is she talking about his relationship? She's cute. I'm not a big fan of office romances, but it'll be the least sloppy thing that's happening on this show right now. The girls get together, Issa, Molly, Kelly, and Tiffany. It is so difficult for me to call Amanda Tiffany. Amanda Seals is one of my really good friends, and now she's on the show as Tiffany, which I'm so excited about. And yes, I'm absolutely name dropping because I'm super proud of my homie. The 4 girls go to an event called Sexplosion. It's like a bazaar for sex toys and condoms. A woman mentions that there are blowjob seminars. Okay, I've been to one. It's really more technical and less titillating than you would think. It's not like the oohs and ahs. It's just like, oh, okay, so you do this and you do that. Oh, you ain't really got to work as hard as you think you do. The girls get into this really weird conversation about blowjobs. Tiffany's really enthusiastic about it. Molly will do it in return. Issa says her teeth are too big and it's too intimate. And Kelly, who was perfectly fine getting fingered in a restaurant while her friend sat at the table, was like, oh no, I don't do blowjobs. Really? People's sexual interests are fascinating. That conversation really surprised me because I thought collectively Black women had moved to a much more comfortable place with blowjobs. I really didn't think blowjobs were still considered taboo. And even when I was in my late 20s, it wasn't a big deal to talk about them, give them. It was like, oh, it's a blowjob. Like, it's a part of sex. Like, we're not there yet. After Sexplosion, Issa goes to meet up with Daniel. With her newfound skills from this little class she took, she has decided to give Daniel a blowjob. Apparently, she is a quick learner because Daniel is very satisfied. Daniel says, I'm coming. Issa does not move. And Daniel busts in her face. I hollered. There's absolutely skeet etiquette that Daniel did not practice. If you don't have permission to bust in someone's face, you don't. Honestly, it's a conversation that should happen. Like, I know it's awkward. I know nobody really wants to talk about things like, hey, so where is it that you would like to put your jizz? Do you spit or swallow? Is there a specific place that I should, skeet? Hey, sir, I think I would like you to catch it. It's not a comfortable conversation, but I'll tell you, it's a lot more comfortable than having sperm in your eye. Because Issa had not expressed it's cool for you to bust in my EYE, that he should have covered it with his hand. But he's not wrong though. He said, I'm coming. If you're going to do that and you're not comfortable with the facial, you got to slob and bob. You hear I'm coming, move, chick, get out the way. If he says I'm coming and you don't move your face, you must want to get bust in the face with it. Was he supposed to push her out the way? Oh, girl, that was awkward. And she was so mad. Issa completely freaks out on him. You didn't move. He thought you were cool with it. I felt she was doing the most, but I say that as somebody whose eye wasn't burning. Issa, Jesus. Issa leaves. Old girl is all upset. She got a little thing held to her face. She storms out of the place, calls an Uber. An Uber carpool at that. I know money is tight right now. You're trying to save up this $5,500 to get your car fixed. If ever there was a time in life just to splurge on a single ride, it was then. And Issa looked so blown. She looked like Lawrence after he couldn't get it up and the white chick started talking about food, cocaine, and LaMarcus. Issa girl, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Hoeing ain't God's plan for you. Some people are really good at that. Like Kelly's really good at it. Kelly is just about that life. You're not. You out here doing the most and getting the least out of it. So that's my recap. Let me know what you thought. Let Let me know if you're Team Issa or Team Daniel on the jizz situation. Oh, please subscribe. If you could just click the little button, give me a little hit, I would really appreciate it. That is everything. I'll see you next week.